Long Beach.
Chase Long Beach. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir, walking by.
No, I just yell at Jared, so he noticed that. And get a little closer with the light there. Don't be so shy. All right.
Hi, I'm Ann Cheever with Afresh Entertainment Magazine and Afresh TV, and I'm here with Chase Long Beach. How long have you guys been doing this?
We've been touring for about 3 years now, and we've been a band for about 7 years.
How many people in your band?
There's currently 7 people in Chase Long Beach.
And so if somebody had never ever heard your music for the first time, how would you describe it for the general public?
If someone asks me what kind of music we play and they obviously aren't affiliated with ska music, I usually say it's like reggae punk music. And then I always throw in that there's like a horn section. So they kind of get like an idea, you know what I mean? They're like,
That sounds pretty
you know what I
awesome.
mean? Yeah.
I'm excited to hear you play today. So, and you are the singer, so who does most of the lyrics for the group? Is it kind of a joint effort?
In the past, it's definitely been a joint effort. Pat writes a lot of the lyrics, as well as Megan, one of our trumpet players. And as far as I hope, I'm actually a new lead singer to the band, so I'm thinking that I'll bring ideas to the table, but we're all going to be involved, definitely,
That's sweet.
with lyrics.
So tell me a little bit about the tour. Where did you start out and where do you go from here?
The tour we met up with, the band we're touring with Outlaw Nation, met up with them in Lake Charles, Louisiana. We did a couple days in Texas just to kind of catch up with them, and we ran up the East Coast and through the Midwest, and now we're going back down until we run on home.
Also, what's the last date of the tour?
The last show of the tour is in Arizona.
So people can get out there and catch you and get a glimpse of the show. And
Yeah, definitely.
all right, sounds good. You said the band's been together for about 7 years, so has it always been the same type of music, pretty much? Or
We started more or less as like a 3 or 4 piece. We added in horns about 2 or 3 years in. We always wanted horns, but it was just harder to find the younger we were and the older we got, the more people we knew and the more connections we made, so we were able to bring in a horn section. And we've had a horn section since about 2004, 2005.
now, do you have any major influences that's helped influence you guys musically?
A big influence for me, the younger I was like Sublime and like Bob Marley and a lot of stuff like that. But the band has a lot of different influences. You know, if you looked at all our iPods, you'd just be like, what the fuck? Yeah, you listen to everything. Just because you play certain type of music doesn't mean you listen to certain type of music.
Right. So the support is there with everything. So as far as the tour and everything, what other projects do you have in the making for the future?
We're doing some festivals, doing Warped Tour, doing Bamboozle Left. We're working on some support tours coming up for the close future, but nothing really set in stone. We plan to go back to Europe at sometime this year. So that's pretty much it. We just did some new music videos. We did 2 new music videos in Chicago last week, and those should be hitting the internet very, very soon.
So what about your music? Where can people find it if they want to, get a CD or samples of some of your stuff?
You can buy our CDs at Best Buy, Target, Hot Topic. You can buy it on iTunes, Amazon, anywhere online.
ChaseLongBeach.com.
ChaseLongBeach.com, MySpace, Chase Long Beach, Facebook, Twitter, anything. There's a YouTube page for Chase Long Beach, anything you want to. Just Google Chase Long Beach and you'll find 4 or 5 pages worth of stuff.
That's fantastic. So music has such an influence in both young and old and everything. If you had to say something to influence the young people, whether musically inclined or just in general, what would some kind of advice you would give them?
Be true to yourself. That's it. That's what I say. True to yourself.
A big aspect of my young age was going to shows and experiencing live music. Because live music is a whole different thing than CDs or MP3s or just buying something offline or seeing something on YouTube. It seems today that in America a lot of kids don't feel the need or understand that you should go to shows. You know what I mean? Like that was the thing me and my friends did when I was growing up. Exactly, but my little sister, she doesn't go to shows. Or kids her age don't go to shows. It's just they don't realize it. But I went to all the local shows. I went to all the all ages clubs, and I supported all that. And I think kids need to kind of remember that. Remember that there is live music and there's new music.
There's good music.
There's good music. Just because it's not on K-Rock or it's not on the local radio show or, you know what I mean, on the fucking, on MTV and shit doesn't mean it's not good.
Now, do you think the economic crunch has kind of affected you guys musically or not really?
It's funny, entertainment doesn't really seem to get affected by the economy.
Because it's always out there.
And the only aspect it does is the number of clubs. I remember touring the UK a couple of years ago. Because touring the UK a couple of years ago, our agent said, "Man, I'm losing like 5 clubs a week I can book in." You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Fuck, you know, America's not really feeling that." But we are, but we're not. You know.
It's different. You know, we think we're feeling it hard, but there are other places.
There's other places that are feeling a lot harder than we are. And for some reason, you know, we still get booked on tours, and we still get our shows still get booked, and we still get paid the same. So I don't really feel it. What I do feel is when I fill up the gas tank.
Oh, I like that.
You know what I mean? I do feel that. But besides that, you know, I think people just need to go out to shows and support the economy the way they know how. You know, hey, you can't afford to buy a Ford F-150? Well, go to a fucking show in your local town because that is supporting the economy.
That's true. What is one of the most embarrassing or bizarre moments that you've had in the group, or is there something you want to share with us? Every band has some kind of fascinating story, you know, whether it's something strange on the stage or...
Every tour something strange happens. On the last European tour, I almost fell out of... We had to change buses or vans halfway through the tour, and like the last week we had to change into the smaller vehicle for the last part of our United Kingdom run. And like 2 days in, we were driving, we made a turn, and my door just opened up, and I almost fell out.
Oh my god!
And then I was like, "Oh, that was crazy." We all laughed about it, and then it happened again a couple days later.
Oh wow!
There's stuff like that goes on, and then you know, wherever you go, you meet strange people, and you know, people think we're strange, but you know.
So you ever had any stalker type fans?
Nothing really like that. You know, you have weird fans that know things about you that you don't realize they know. Like we have one of our trumpet players goes to Northridge College in California, and there was a fan of ours that knew that he went to school there, and things like that. You're like, well, how do you know that? You know, how do you know these weird little things that
They Googled you.
they find out these weird little things that you know, they follow you on your personal stuff, and that's you know. Besides that, we haven't had any real stalker weird things go on.
That's cool. Well, go ahead and mention your website one more time.
Yes.
So people can find out more about you, and then I will also hit you up later with a written interview so we can put it up on the magazine site as well, and that way we can get the whole band involved in their thoughts on different things.
Definitely. Well, ChaseLongBeach.com, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and we got MySpace / Chase Long Beach, Facebook, Chase Long Beach, or Twitter, Chase Long Beach.
It's been a real pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing the show and hopefully get some great shots of you guys too.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We can all share.
Yeah.